Hey, Coach Growers. So Michelle was the only person who commented on my post. So this is for Michelle, if you're watching, since no one else seemed to be interested. But I wanted to talk to you today about shame. And this was something that actually just yesterday this happened to me. And I was thinking about how so many of my clients this happens to, and so I'm like, okay, so I know it's happening to other people out there, right? And so I just wanted to share with you what to do whenever shame, and when I say shame, that looks like fear, embarrassment, self-condemnation, critical thoughts, right? Like that inner critic, any of those things, all the cousins of shame, right? When it kind of rears its ugly head and kind of takes you, what I like to call, down the shame train, what to do to get off so that you are not being held back in your business. All right. So first of all, what does this look like? How does this kind of show itself, right? Well, it can look like, being afraid to take risks, being afraid to do things that may put you in a position that could potentially be embarrassing or make you look stupid, or where you don't know the answer, right? This could be on a sales call, right? What if they ask you a question and you don't know how to answer? What if you are offered to speak in an event and you freeze up on stage, right? All the different scenarios. What if you're afraid to do a Facebook Live or post, right? Or do ads, whatever it may be. There's so many different places that this shows up in our lives, in our businesses, that it holds us back from being able to achieve the goals that we've set for ourselves, right? And so again, whether that's, shame, critical thoughts, fear of making mistakes, fear of looking stupid, fear of being wrong, fear of embarrassment, all of this stuff, right? And so one thing that shame is really, really good at is, again, the shame train, right? Like, all it takes is this one kind of shameful thought, and typically it's from your past, right? Shame is really good about that. It's about taking all of these past experiences that you felt embarrassed, that you felt stupid, that you felt not good enough, right? That you felt ashamed, all these past experiences, and shame takes those and convinces you that all of those past experiences are also going to be true in the present and in the future, right? So all it takes is one of those thoughts. One shameful thought will all of a sudden unlock and open up a whole train load of other shameful experiences or embarrassing experiences that you've had in your life, right? Before you know it, all of a sudden you were perfectly fine, you felt good, you're on top of the world, and all of a sudden now you're like huddled up in a corner, like, I can't do anything, right? Like, and all this stuff. You're questioning yourself, you're doubting your impact, your ability. You're afraid to do anything, and all of this stuff, right? So you're paralyzed. Shame makes you procrastinate, and it paralyzes you, and it keeps you stuck in the past so that you don't really get very far in the present, and especially in the future. All right, so what do we do about this, right? That's really like the big thing. So now that we understand a little bit of what shame does, we need to know how to overcome this, right? And so I want to give you an example, and I can actually give you a whole lot of examples from my life, right? Some very recently, some from a long time ago. I'm going to give you one in particular from my high school days, so quite a while back. But I want you to know, though, that this happens every single, and in every situation in my life, I can tell you of something that happened that I felt embarrassed about, or I felt, ashamed about, or inadequate, or like, just kind of like, oh, Carissa, why did you do that, right? And every single thing from, the masterminds that I've hosted, the events that I've helped put on, from the places that I've spoken at, all of the different things, from my coaching calls, right? My marketing, every single thing, every single event, every single situation. Going back to kindergarten, right? There's events in kindergarten all throughout, from way back when up till today. There have been things that I look at and I'm like, oh man, why did I do that way, right? And so I want to give you one example just from my high school years to kind of show you this. So you take this and you apply it to your life, right? And I want to take you through this process, through this example, to show you how we're going to come out from it, all right, at the end. Okay, so in high school, I had been given the role of lead actress in the competition play that we were doing that year in school. And at one particular performance that we had of this production, I had some people bring up some massive bouquets of flowers to give to me during our curtain call. When the play was completed, we were all there standing on the stage, waiting for the curtain to close. And some people had brought me these just massive bouquets of flowers. And they were standing at the stage. And so the whole audience was there, and they were standing at the stage, kind of holding these out, making eye contact with me, like, here you go, like, come get these, right? And I didn't budge. I didn't move. I just sat there on the stage. And I remember my eyes were big, and I was kind of like trying to shake my head at them, like, no, like, go away, because this was a competition play. And in competition plays, when we completed our production, we were not allowed to move, okay? We couldn't move. And so we could not go, I could not, break from the line and go to pick up these flowers that these people had brought me. Now, not only was that embarrassing for me, but it was also embarrassing for them, right? They were trying to do something very kind, very, very nice. They were trying to honor me. And I just basically kind of in a way rejected them, and I wasn't trying to reject them. I had been told over and over and over by my director, you do not move from line, right? Until the curtain closes, you do not move. And so I took that to heart. Now, granted, this was not we were not actually competing at this particular performance. This was a public performance. It wasn't a competition performance. So technically I could have broken out of line and gone and got those flowers, and got back in line. I could have done that. But I didn't. And there were some other people in the audience that night. They hadn't come to any other performance, but they were there that night. And these were some people who were extremely, extremely important to me. I cared a lot about what these people thought about me. So I'm sure you've had that too, where you have people, different stages in your life, who may be friends, maybe, mentors, maybe parents, maybe family, whoever, who you very much value their opinion of you and their perception of you, right? And so at this point in time, there was some people in the audience who I very much cared what they thought about me, right? And here it was. This performance, of all the performances, they were there, and here I was just completely embarrassed, right? And embarrassing myself, embarrassing these people who were trying to give me these flowers, in front of these other people who were just watching, like, why doesn't she just go get the flowers, right? So it just felt like I made a complete fool of myself, right? And so this is an event in my life that the shame train will really try to just kind of pick me up on, and of course open up a whole big can of shame worms, right? And so but this was an event that happened, and it just really, really tainted that entire, like, if you ask me to go back to that time, that's going to be the first thing that I think about in that time. All right, was that moment of feeling stupid or embarrassed or ashamed or like a fool or whatever. Okay, now why do I share this with you? All right, so now I want to give you some perspective. All right, so then we can connect this to how you can overcome shame and get off that train whenever you find yourself kind of getting caught up in it. All right, so to give some perspective, in the town, it was a very small town that I grew up in Texas. And at that point in time, there had never been a female lead in the play. Never. All plays were chosen for males to have the lead role. But because of work that I had done in my community, in the community theater, the director, for the first time ever, had chosen a play specifically with a female lead role for me to play, for me to be that role. That was one thing, right? What a massive, massive honor. What a massive accomplishment, right? Never had been done before. I was the first lead role, first female lead role at my school in a production, in a competition of all things, right? That was a huge thing. The other thing was I won a medal for my role at competition, which was very rarely occurred with my school. We were not known for our theater. And so the fact that I won an award for that role was a huge honor. Huge honor. I see some of you guys jumping on. I'll definitely catch the replay because otherwise this is going to be really random and not make much sense. All right. And so here it was. I had these amazing accomplishments, amazing honors given to me that I earned, right? That I worked hard for. But yet, if you ask me what I think about, that moment of shame is going to be the first thing that comes to my mind. All right. So what does all this have to do? How do we take this and apply it to each of your individual lives, right? And to my own, right? So here's the thing. What shame is really, really good at giving you, two things: blinders and a magnifying glass. All right. So it puts blinders on so you can't see anything else. And then it gives you a magnifying glass so you see what is in front of you really, really big. All right. And I know I use puzzles a lot in my analogies. I don't know why. I'm not even like a really big fan of puzzles, but anyways, they make really good analogies. Okay. So I want you to imagine this big puzzle, right? This completed puzzle on a table, like a jigsaw puzzle, right? And it's beautiful. Like the picture's beautiful and it's all complete and it's awesome, right? But there's this one piece over here that maybe the dog got a hold of. Maybe it fell off the table and the dog grabbed it. And so it's kind of chewed. You kind of can see the cardboard. You really can't tell what the picture is there. And it doesn't really even fit that well in the whole big thing, right? That's where you naturally look, right? You see this big, beautiful picture, but then you see that one piece that kind of got chewed up and doesn't look so good, right? That's what shame does. It puts blinders on to all the other pieces that are wonderful and awesome and beautiful and intact. And then it makes a magnifying glass on that one chewed up piece, that one messed up piece, right? So that's all that you see, right? That's what shame does. It's really good at it, actually. That's shame's strength right there. All right. And so the way that we can battle this, the way that we can kind of neutralize the strength of shame and remove the blinders and get rid of the magnifying glass and prevent ourselves, this is the key, prevent ourselves from getting stuck in the shame cycle. Prevent ourselves from procrastinating and letting shame hold us back, right? Prevent getting paralyzed and preventing us from avoiding opportunity in our business, right? That would actually get us to our goal. So, going back to my example, had I let shame or embarrassment or fear or doubt or fill in the blank stop me from taking the risk necessary, the risks that got me the lead role, that got this production specifically selected for me, that got me an award in our entire area for my performance. Those risks were risks that I took, right? I had to take risks. I had to stand up. I had to perform. I had to be in front of people. I had to try out. I had to do a lot of things, right? To get myself all the good stuff, right? But with that good stuff came that one little bad piece. That one moment, literally a moment. All right, that was it. So here's the question that you have to look at, all right? Because I guarantee you, if you look at all the situations in your life that you may have some shame associated with, all right? Every situation, also, in addition to the shame, it also has a risk. There was a risk that you took that put yourself in that situation that was amazing. And yes, maybe you did something that really wasn't that great, or that you wish you would have done better or differently, okay? But you would have never experienced that had you not taken the risk. And I know a lot of people say, well, exactly, that's the whole point. That's why I don't take the risk now, because I don't want to recreate something that's going to be as shameful. But I want you to flip it. I want you to reframe that. All the good stuff that came with taking that risk won't happen either. So yeah, while you may be avoiding a little moment of embarrassment, and a learning opportunity, really, is what it is, you're also going to be missing out on all the good stuff, on all the gains, right? On all the opportunities, for achievement and impact. And so that's the thing, right? You've got to remove the blinders, remove the magnifying glass, and look at this entire big picture, this big jigsaw puzzle, and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to have a moment of shame probably at some point somewhere in this risk that I'm taking, right? If you get up and you stand up to speak in front of someone, or you reach out to someone and you do a podcast interview, or you do a training, right? Or you are at an event, or whatever it may be, there's going to be moments that you don't get it all right. There's going to be moments that you maybe embarrass yourself, or say something you wish you hadn't said, or do something you wish you hadn't done, right? That's just life. But instead of focusing on that one chewed up jigsaw puzzle piece, I want you to come out. I want you to zoom out and look at the big picture, and look at all the beautiful parts. Look at all the good, intact, awesome parts. Look at what you've gained, and look at the courage that it took you to take that risk, right? To risk standing up, to risk doing something, right? And yes, it may have brought that one little moment, but look at all the good that it brought you, all right? And you've got to ask yourself, was all that good worth that one moment? Right? Most of the time, the answer is going to be yeah. Yeah, it was. But if you just allow yourself to just feel the shame, you will never get to that point. You just let the feeling overwhelm you, and you don't think and you don't realize all the good that was there, right? Because again, that's what shame does. It just focuses in on that one piece. So you have to intentionally recognize, whoop, I'm on the shame train, got to get off. Let me zoom out. Let me look at this big picture. Let me look at all the awesomeness that I did in this, rather than just that one moment of, lapse judgment or whatever, and look at that. And then give yourself credit for all of that stuff. Learn from that moment if you need to learn from it. So next time, I guarantee you, if I'm ever in a play again, I will absolutely walk to the front and pick up those beautiful flowers. Hands down. All right. So, because I learned something from that moment, right? But don't forget to look at all the awesome stuff. Don't forget to look at everything that you did do right, that you did well, right? So hopefully this helps you guys. If you have any questions about it, leave a comment below. Check the replay if you're just kept coming on, because this whole entire video goes together. So if you're catching different pieces of it, then it's probably not going to make much sense. It's going to be kind of random. All right. Hope you guys are having an awesome week. Alex and I are cheering you on. We believe in you. We're here for you. So let us know if you need anything.